And we don't know whether the girl in the car is dead, but we'll talk to a few people. But keep watching K News Online. My name is Theophilus Cole. I'm here this morning at Jamaica Road Bridge on the Somalia Drive. But we will talk to people how the incident really happened this morning, because we have to give you the clear understanding of what happened. Let's go back to the car, and according to sources, the girl is still living, but let's go back. They are taking the car from the water. So this is the car that left the road. Chief, let's go. They carry on. The driver not move the car. The driver not move the car. So we will find people that were on the scene this morning so we can talk to them. How the driver managed. So I'm finding this so difficult to talk to people that were present here this morning when the incident happened. But we are here this morning where, according to Fox, it said that he was on his way from the airport. Some of the information that I have gathered this morning. But I don't want to rely on one information, but I want to get 2 or 3 persons speaking. someone is asking me whether the lady is alive. Anyway, I'm not a doctor, but according to some of them, it says she's not dead. So we will talk to people that took her from the water. I'm trying to get one or two questions. So please keep watching, and I will bring you every bit of information. Thank you so much. On the bridge, this vehicle took an accident on the bridge this morning. So let me go where the little girl is lying, and I think I can be able to talk to some of the folks that helped in taking her body out of the water. One or 2 hours. Too many information concerning this little girl, but we will bring you the real information. So I don't want you to rely on all of what they are saying.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to every one of you guys there. This is J. Randy here. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I know some of you guys are getting ready to go to church. Some of you guys just getting off for the first time. And some of you guys, or most of you guys, as I can see here, this particular video has gotten 5.9 thousand views. Yes. It has gotten 5.9 thousand views, and I think somewhere else I look, they also got about 18,000 views. But why am I here to discuss the video with you guys? As you can see, the topic right here, another example that showed that Liberia is not ready. You see, it is one thing to get all the views, but it's another thing to actually understand how the country functions. And the functionality of the country is what I'm here to discuss with you. You see, fellow Liberians, I am not always on Facebook to brag about my career, but I'm very grateful to God that the opportunity that He has given me to work in this country and continue to work in this country, it has given me a very wide wavelength that gave me the opportunity to look at things from many perspectives. My background has given me the opportunity to look at things and be able to make that determination because of my participation in so many things. So what are we going to do with the video today? Aside from all the large views that people has given, here's what's going to happen here. You know what we're trying to understand from the video? One, we have an accident, right? Now, it's an incident. Now, for my role, what we're going to look at from this incident is the cause factor. Is it a human error or is it a mechanical error? And when the incident happened, what are the procedures, the necessary steps that should be taken in order to properly investigate the cause and the root cause of this accident? Do you think anyone right now watching and that have watched this show or that particular incident, do you think they got the understanding of why the accident happened? And as we discuss this accident thing here, we're going to look at the firewire. And as you listen to the conversation, we will try to fish out things. Another thing we're going to look at here is how prepared is our country emergency response team? Do we have one? How often do they rehearse? The society responsibility is how many people in a country across every community that are CPR AED trained. We got people out there, right? We got the National Red Cross that's supposed to look at the community and see how they can make the community citizen very productive. And when it comes to the regulatory side of things, why did the guy miss the road and went into the river? Did he suffer a heart attack? Was he drunk? None of these things. And this conversation is very foreign to Liberians. Yes, to many, many Liberians. I would say that. This conversation is very foreign to many, many Liberians. And when we continue to reject these things, we are just putting our country backwards. Yes, we are just putting our country backwards. And you see, all these things transpire to our race as Black people. Very sad about it. All right? Very, very sad. Let me give you a real life example about life. What has happened to Kanye West, in my opinion, it goes to show that the white man is powerful more than the Black man. I will be very upfront with that. Just to add to this, those things cannot happen to the Chinese. It cannot happen to the Indians. It cannot happen to the Arab. Why you think? Because we as Black people, we have our economy. The continent of Africa got billions in terms of mineral resources. But because we are not committing ourselves to making ourselves viable, important in society, so other people will take advantage of us. A guy from billionaire came straight down, according to history, to 4 million. How did he drop so fast for such a money to come down? Now, take that idea, right? We call ourselves Liberians. When you watch the video and see things, the way things begin to unfold from the accident and the way people are interacting, do you really think we're ready to be a country to improve? I would tell you, say no. We are not ready. All the different politicians, government officials you find in position, when things like that happen, that's when you get to know whether the country is really a functionable country or just a country that's just operating by the day because of what you have seen in other countries, how things have been done. But Liberia will not listen to this thing, folks, because this is not their interest. So let's go to the video and let's begin to listen, right? All right. So we're going to just run it through the video, finish with it, walk away, we go and do our things. Wait for your beautiful platform to come on and go watch yourself. Go watch yourself, because these significant things are not part of our society. We are not used to these things. When incident happen, we just rush to the scene, see the behavior, the interaction, then from there we just leave and go. That's what we do as a country and people. No matter where we live, no matter what we see, what we achieve in other countries, when things happen in our country, it is time for us to challenge these things. So I'm going to discuss this thing here on the content of what are the appropriate measures that we have in our country, our standard of doing things. Do we have a standard to begin with? So let's go in there. And don't bring your personal feelings here, because it is not about personal feeling. It's about what we are challenged with and what are we doing to improve it. And if there's no improvement, then where are we heading as a country and people? So let's go to the video here, folks. All right. And thank you guys so much for the opportunity. All right. So let's go out here and begin to analyze the video here, right? So I'm going to lower myself here, and I think this is where I will be until order, and then we'll discuss this here, right? So what are we looking at here right now? We see a screw of people here, and that are trying to be part of this investigation. Let me do something here quickly here. Let me just do something here. I think I need to adjust. Let me see if I can minimize this writing. Yes, I think I've done something to that. Try to minimize it so that way we can see clearly here. Let me see what I can see here right now. All right. Okay, so let's see here. Let me blow this up again for you guys here. Okay, so okay. What I would do here, let me just move this down here. Okay. Let me just let it go. All right, so that way we can see things here. Let me just let it go here. I am going to let it go. Okay, I'm going to hide it, and we're going to just discuss it here so you guys can see me right now. Yes. All right. So let's see what we can do here. Incident has occurred here, right? Okay. So let me All right. So you listen to these guys here, right? All right. So let's try to analyze it. We had an incident here where, according to the information from this video, the driver, all right, was driving overnight or early in the morning and apparently lost control, and the car went off the bridge into a large body of water. That is how the explanation will start. According to unconfirmed sources or unconfirmed source, a driver was, you know, a driver lost control and ran off or missed the bridge and ran into the water. Now, what is the current situation of the driver? Let's listen to these people as the journalists go ahead and explain here, right?
And we don't know whether the girl in the car is dead, but we'll talk to a few people. But keep watching K News Online. My name is Theophilus Cole. I'm here this morning at Jimmy.
So every information we are gathering right now, folks, will be coming from the reporter and the oral voices, because people that are talking over the reporter, we call those people oral voices. And so their voices are going over the mic of the guy who's actually running the video here. So we will gather information, content from those guys who are doing the oral voice over the mic, and then we'll also gather information from the guy who is actually running the scene. Now we are trying to determine, one, why did he run over the road into the river? Two, what is the local authority responsibility as the scene continue to expand in terms of the crowd control? The third component we're going to look at, which is part of the regulatory control, those guys, there will be some people you're going to see who went into the water. Honor who responsibility and control were they, authorized to go into the water. I know these things are very foreign to many of us as Liberians, but in order to advance ourselves as a country and people, these standard questions need to be asked, because people who are not trained to swim to rescue, the risk they face is they could lose their life in the process. Then the next phase is the cleanup process. Right now is the search and rescue. All right. After the search and rescue, if somebody did not survive, it would be nothing else but recovery. Now, after the recovery process, the next thing is the cleanup. The vehicle that went into the water, it contained gas and other hazardous material that the car used to operate. Now, it's going to contaminate the water. How is the cleanup process going to be? So we are going to give you a full blown of when incident happen in America. When you're driving the road, they say there's an accident, the roadblock, all these things are taking place. The hazmat team, the rescue team, depending on the nature of the accident, these components will play a major role. But we see these things in the developed country, and many of us live here. But when it happens in our country, all we want to see is just the physical interaction of how the people are doing things, whether it makes sense, it doesn't make sense. We don't care to see these things happening. And for me, I will not sit quietly, because I want for people to understand that there are some Liberians who really understand the right things that's supposed to be done, and not just absorb myself into keeping quiet on things that are not happening. I mean, hate me, love me, and I could remain like someone who is not educated, and then I will hold myself responsible. But if I see this thing, and I encourage every Liberians, you see, we all want the change, all right, to take place in Liberia. But how many of us are willing to commit ourselves to the changes that we're asking for? We are not many. So there are people who will say, yeah, we want the change. But how many of them are ready to take on that helmet, that change jacket, and put it on and be very firm in what they say? This is where we part way with each other. So people will come on my platform, oh, that man, oh, that man. But the reality here is there's nothing good working in the country here. From everything that we have done since 1847 up to present. So let's continue with the video here, right? So let me progress.
Harrow Bridge on the Somalia draft.
So now, guys, tell me what is wrong with this picture here. This is a training and learning purposes here. What is wrong with this picture? One, we understood that there had been a car accident, right? Now, car accident can lead to so many things. Maybe since the car is in the water, someone or passenger and the driver could be in the water. We have bystanders in terms of the citizenry, people. Look at this picture and see what is happening here. These individuals you are looking at, these Liberians you're looking at here, they are not part of any such rescue or crowd control. Matter of fact, they are adding more to a situation than de-escalating the situation. So it goes to show that no one right now is in charge of what is happening on the ground right now. There's nobody in charge of what is happening right now. And that is why you have all the onlookers. They have circled the entire area. As you can see, their hands stretching out here with video camera. But this is a life-saving situation that's happening here. From the story we heard, a car has been plunged into the water by the driver. We don't see the police. Look at the skylight, all right? You see the sun beaming here, all right? These are things you look at. The sun is beaming here. That means that day has broken. But now, police should have been in place, putting in place caution tape and other measures to prevent cross interference from the activities. Rescue truck, the fire, we have fire brigade in Liberia, right? Fire brigade, first aid team should all be at this area here. And don't tell me, say, my man, this is not America, this is not Europe yet. No, we've been in a freaking existence for 175 years. We see lawmakers and come to America here displaying or taking photos with fire trucks, ambulance, and what have you, but we don't see these things when it happens here. So we have to challenge these things that our people are using for political currency in order for them to gain popularity in the country. So let's move the video here, because right now we see that the entire community of people have taken charge of this entire investigation, putting life at risk, compromising evidence and what have you. And there's no police present. There is no proper measure in place here. All right? All right. You agree with me on that? Let me progress. I mean, look at the number of people, folks. Look at the crowd of people. It just goes to tell you that people are very, very less busy in our country. Look at the people, my friends. Look at our people. Look at our people, my friends. It just goes to show that people are very less busy in our country.
But we will talk to people how the incident really happened this morning, because we have to give you the clear understanding of what happened.
Now, what are these people looking for underneath this 18-wheeler trucks here? What are they looking for? Where is the police to prevent crowd cross control, to prevent the bystander, or let's say, where is the police to put in place crowd control? I don't see them here. All right. So these people will just keep coming. What is the risk associated with these people keep coming here? There are a lot of risk factor in here. All right. Let me clear that.
Let's go back to the car, and according to source, the girl is still living, but let's go back. They are taking the car from the water.
Now, as you can see here, we have this monster lift is now lifting the car up. Now, let's get closer so we can look at some of the risks associated with it. Now, folks, again, let's look at the picture here now, right? Tell me, folks, what is actually wrong with this picture here? Let's be honest here. What is wrong with this picture? You got a crane that is lifting a vehicle. The weight of the vehicle, the strength within the cord that is holding onto the vehicle. They cannot promise that it will not give way. But look at the people that within the perimeters of this operation. These people's lives are at risk. Why? Because if the thing give up, the vehicle will come plunging down. And those who are in a close proximity of this area could also become victim of this vehicle that is being taken out of the water. What is missing here? Police crowd control. What is wrong with our country? No procedures, no standard, no safety measure, nothing. And this is not just George Weah mistake. This thing has been happening for many, many years. It has become a practice of our country. So when these things happen, instead of bringing expertise to come and educate the people, Liberians in majority will only watch these things just for their enjoyment, pleasure. But you know what? I love the white man country. I love the white man country for the fact that they educate every citizen in the country that has the potential to hear, learn, and see things. If this was a white man country, you would not find people like this here. Why? They will prevent people from coming here because they are trying to minimize safety, and they are also trying to rescue. And in that process, bystanders getting too close to this kind of operation poses a highest safety and unsafe condition for both the operator, the people around, and the piece of equipment that has been taken out of the water. But do you think we're ready for those things in Liberia? No, we are not ready for those things in Liberia. And are we ready to have the conversation? No, we're not ready to have the conversation. So let's watch the video.
So this is the car that left the road. Chief, let's
go. Now, this guy walking here, I don't know who the guy is. He's around here. An object is being lifted. He doesn't have helmet on, but he's walking here. And when you look underneath the car here, all right, look at the top of the car. There are some people standing right here, I believe, on the bank of the river right here. Now, this operator here is operating the vehicle here. But these people right here, why should they be in this area here? Who is in charge of protecting this area where this guy is operating this piece of equipment here? There is absolutely nobody. These people's life have been put at risk. The local municipality authority should be in this area to prevent these people from getting too close to the piece of equipment here. But are they going to do that? No. Watch. Now, here's another environmental factor here, right? So the vehicle here uses I think this is a Rubicon Jeep here. Yeah, Rubicon Jeep. So this vehicle had plunged into the body of water. As you can see, it actually submerged into the bottom of the river. Now it is coming outside, right? Water is leaking out. The car uses gasoline. So the gas in the car have been compromised. So the gasoline has mixed with the water. That means we're going to have contamination in the water. The EPA will have to come and test that water to determine whether there are some gasoline content in this water. Now, if it's determined that there is some gasoline content in the water, who is going to pay for that contamination? Not the government that's supposed to pay for that. This driver, is his car insured? What type of insurance does his car have? I know all these things are foreign, right? But then if they are foreign, then and you say, oh, Jay Randy, you know what? All the things you're talking is too advanced. Then let's agree that Liberia is fucked up. Because by now, after 175 years, we should be able to put in place the question I'm asking here. Because if we want to operate vehicle, we got to understand that vehicle has the propensity to destroy property, take lives, and if those things happen, who honorate the cost? Because if a guy operating a piece of vehicle, like in the case of no fault of the bridge or the road, but he took this car and plunged it into the river of his own doing, who should honor cost or honorate the cost of the extended damage or damages that he has done? If you agree with me on that, then you will understand that the question I'm asking really makes sense. But do you think, are we ready for those things? No, we are not ready for those things. So let me progress, folks.
So we will find people that were on the scene this morning so we can talk to them. How the driver managed.
Too many interference here, folks. Too many interference. Too many interference. You cannot differentiate. There's no one here that you can tell who is who, which institution they represent. You got a guy here with no shirt on. You got a guy here with shirt on. There is nobody there to identify who they work for. Nothing of a sort. So why you think all these things are so disorganized? Because the various institutions we have in the country that's supposed to catalog these things here. If you have a tow truck company that is responsible to rescue vehicle off the road, they must be registered, and part of the teaching of making themselves visible is to either have the crew members be in vests that identify them. Two, if you have rescue teams from the community, emergency, they should be properly vested to identify who they are, because their identification will help to show to people that we actually got a standard in place that will be able to move things accordingly. But if you look at the whole thing here, none of these people here, and folks, some of you guys live in a developed country, you'll see these things. These things are not done by magic when it happens in the women land. And so when we are discussing these things, you got to come with open mind and let's have an open discussion to show that our country is not doing so well when it comes to how old we are and how competitive we want to be compared to our neighbor in other countries. I can bet myself if this thing had happened in Ghana, you will see the Ghanaian emergency response team. They will come in there with a proper vest, vehicle, crane, tow truck, and the team will be properly vested to be identified. Yes, I can bet my neck on the chopping board if this thing were to happen, even in the article as well. Even in Nigeria, you will see a big difference. There will be a crowd of people. Yes, typically it will happen, unless in America where we always driving, you don't find community close to the road. But in other communities where we have local roads, you will see bystanders, but they will be properly controlled. In this situation in Liberia, you see the crowd of people interfering in the close proximity of the area. They are not even dividing the zone. red zone, yellow zone, and a green zone. None of these things of a sort have taken place in this scenario here. And do you think anybody going to discuss these things yet? No, nobody going to discuss it, right? Look at how many people were listening, watching you already. This guy is next to the vehicle. Look at every one of them. Why it is true that the helmet doesn't save your life, it prevents the extent of the impact. But you found people here with no helmet. Look at the vehicle laying on its side here. They're just still walking around the vehicle here because there's nobody there to tell them about the risks associated with what they are looking at right now. Are the crew member, have they been trained? Do they understand is something? I mean, what is the risk associated with what they're doing here? None of these things exist, folks. None of these things exist.
So I'm finding this.
See how the people are just like encroaching in the area where the crane is operating. There's nobody preventing these young people. And don't blame the young people, your fellow Liberians. You cannot blame the young people. They grow and they continue to grow in a society that is not teaching them, the discipline that they need to have. They believe that what they are doing, they are in the right of doing this thing. Whether it compromises their safety, they don't give a damn. They just in there doing what they want to do, folks. This is the country. This is the reality here now. This is the reality of what politicians and other talk show who's supposed to be bringing to you guys. You see, when you have all these shows, it is not how many people you get. It is not how often you come on. But what are you teaching our people through your show? What are they learning? And how are they applying these things in their daily lives when incidents occur? What is the function of those who are the main and major players? What are the function of the citizen itself? How do we differentiate the two? The professional from the bystander. You're looking at this picture here. You are seeing this incident many times because it got up to 5,000 views, all right? Or almost 6,000 views or more than that. But when you see the interaction of these people here, it clearly indicates that there is no system in how to properly manage, control, and resolve any sort of problem in the country, especially with the kind of public emergency or incident or accident. We don't have those things in place.
It's so difficult to talk to people that were present here this morning when the incident happened. But we are here this morning where, according to Fox, it said that he was.
Why are these people passing in this area here? Most often in situations like this, the road will be completely blocked off. It will be blocked off until everything is done. Because these very people who are walking at that scene, they are also picking up cross-contamination and they are taking it under their feet and going to areas that are not contaminated, and they're going to contaminate the area. They are going to contaminate. So where is the authority in handling this incident and emergency? Where is the authority, folks?
On the way from the airport, some of the information that have gathered.
So let's listen to the guy who will carry out the narrative, right? He is now saying, according to unconfirmed report, the vehicle operator came from the airport. So let's forget about the crowd as they weasel their way through this, area. Let's listen to the guy who is now using the camera and making his and let's say describing what is happening here. He's saying something very important, and I want us to listen to him.
Morning. But I don't want to rely on one information, but I want to get 2 or 3 person speaking.
So another principle too that apply here too, folks. The weight of this bridge, all right? And this is something beyond this conversation, but I just thought to inject this into this conversation here. The weight of this bridge. You got a collection of human beings standing on the bridge. You got heavy equipment. There is no time where you're supposed to have a large number of human beings with their own personal body weight along with the vehicle standing on a bridge for a long period of time. Bridges are made for moving parts, but this is something that structural engineer will have to look at, all right, to actually expand on this. But we just try to, just try to bring that to your attention. The bridge is overcrowded. The weight of this bridge is resistant to the body mass of everyone, including the piece of equipment. Can it stand this for a very long time? I'm not saying you're going to compromise the integrity of the bridge, but I'm just trying to say that these are some of the reasons why you don't want to have too many people on the bridge. This bridge is supposed to be. There are two ways that I see the how they call it. They used to call it the baja, but if you look on the other side of the screen here, these guys are going in the opposite direction, and these people are standing here. Why are they all standing on the bridge? Where is the police that's supposed to be controlling the crowd to say, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving? You got folks standing right in the proximity of this incident that got nothing to do, but they're just standing there and nobody doing anything at all. This is a very good video for training purposes as to what the role of the police is supposed to be, what is the understanding of the citizen. None of these things make sense right now, but that's Liberia, right? And that's what I always say, this too is Liberia. That statement or that phrase means that we are not ready for the change yet. We need to start wasting our time going to the United Nations, going to other international conferences, and having opposition party. They are not doing anything that will really change the way things are done in our country. And no, they are not doing, because the way you will see things are improving in the country is the understanding of the citizen in how they discuss, how they behave, and how they conduct themselves when things happen in the society. Why? Because the institution that the tax funded money pay, they should be able to come up with all the different measure in the form of policy, training, regulation to help our society improve. But do we have this thing there? No, we don't have this thing in here. We don't have that.
Yeah, if you got to talk, no problem. I guess. So let me go where the little girl is lying, and I think I can be able to talk to some of the folks that help in taking her body out of the water.
First of all, he's saying and taking the girl body out of the water. Well, we don't know for sure whether she's dead or she's unconscious, and but he using the phrase taking her body out of the water. I see that again as another challenge, because if you are not aware of something, and I think it would be better to say, you know what, let's see how many passengers in the car. What is the status of the passenger? Is the passenger being rescued from the car? Is he or she still alive or dead? But we cannot confirm. But we know that we just want to find out how many passengers in the car. And again, it all boils down to training. When you get your radio station and you got field reporter, you have to arm these guys with the terminology. And the training got to be very, very demonstrative. And when you're conducting this guy bringing, you don't just call people out and just give them a camera with a mic and say go out there, because they will be giving wrong information, and this information has the propensity to actually define the institution you represent. So he's talking about the body and stuff like that, but we don't know whether somebody
More than 2 hours. Too many information concerning this little girl, but we were bringing the real information.
Yeah, I mean, there will be too many information because the fire is, things are not organized from the national level to the community level. So if people are not in charge or in control, it gave opportunity to those who are just out there putting things in the public. That's why it shows. Yeah, that's why it shows. So let me progress, folks.
So I don't want you to rely on all of what they are saying.
So when you see this kind of behavior among our people, I believe over here is where the passenger in the car has been laid for some first aid. But are they administering first aid? I don't know. But when you see the number of people surrounding that particular area where I believe they get body, I mean they get the girl who was rescued from the car, if that where she's being laid right now, why are all these people around that? Who are these people? What expertise, what training do they have? We don't know for a fact who are these people, but we just see them surrounding. How many fresh air if she needs one or if he needs one? How many air are they giving them? People just surround the area, my friends. Wow. Now you see what I'm talking about now, folks. All right, we have a situation. One of the passenger in the car has been rescued. You got people sitting over there. Medical practitioner know in such a situation, the survivability of that person is ticking. The clock is ticking. Everybody just standing there. No emergency vehicle. Nothing of the sort. Only up to the pedestrian and the concerned citizen are making that left decision in our country. All right? Only those guys. Only those guys.
She's there? But you're not so you are not a medical practitioner, huh? You are not a medical practitioner. She's there. They can't miss the road by 5.
That's Liberia there for you, folks. That's Liberia there for you. That's Liberia there for you. Somebody have been rescued from the water, and this is how they have been carried. And let me say this to you guys. If you ever think that cannot happen to you, you better think again. Because it's possible that many of you guys that often go to that country, that bullshit can happen to you. And when your body is leftless, you are only in the hands of those very people who rescue you. You are either going to die, knowing that if you are in a developed country, you will be better off. But you cannot do nothing. You cannot do nothing at that time. Absolutely nothing. You cannot do. So why you think I'm challenging these things? I'm challenging these things because we don't have standards. Standard will be created if we start to put in place measure from what we learn and how can we prevent it from happening. There are many times things that happen to people. But do you think Liberian care? So you see, sometimes when someone will come in and say, look, we don't think Liberia is the right place for us to be. It's not that we hate our country, but there are incidents that can happen or will happen that will put you as a human being in a leftless position. And if you are leftless and your life is in the hands of people who aren't trained, you will eventually die. You will die a death that people will not even recognize to be something that you are taking your life away. So that is why I'm coming here to let you guys know. An incident happened. You look at the response team. There's no police to put in crowd control. There's no emergency vehicle. They'll come with first aid and whatever. The response time to that incident, 5 a.m. according to the hearsay. Now the sunlight is up. I believe it probably like around, I don't know when the sun come out in Liberia, but I would say around 6:37. The sunlight had been up. If that girl had been in that car all that time, the response time is already over. It's either ever recovery now rather than rescue. Because when things happen, you start with a rescue. The rescue means you're going to see how many people you can rescue. If the time elapsed and that time is dead, you switch to recovery. If somebody live, that's fine. But that recovery phase is what we're going to do to recover people. But do you think we're going to take a lesson learned from this thing yet? No. By 3 a.m., by 2 p.m. this afternoon, 4 the afternoon, you get many Liberians coming up. Yeah, let's go listen to politics. Let's go listen to politics. And because we focus so much on politics, that is how we're losing lives in our country every day. Not only to somebody missing the road and plunging the car in the water. People are dying from preventable diseases in our country because there's nobody who is putting light on these things that should be prevented. My friend, you got your country. But I just hope when you go into Liberia, make sure you got enough less saving. Because when you die over there and you got children that you live into where you live and go to that country, you are going to leave a financial burden on your children. Until we begin to focus on these things, the essential and necessary things in our country, so shall it be for you guys. I cannot force anybody. I can just come and tell you guys because I know this thing will happen. And when it happens, I want to be on the side where I would say, you know what, I said these things and nobody listens. So I'm not speaking for today. I'm speaking for the future because there will be a generation that will begin to evaluate from 2000 up to 2000, maybe 65. They might be in 2080. What did the people do when they entered the 2000, the 21st century? What did they do with this country? What was their mindset? I don't want nobody to come and challenge my mindset when I know that I can say things today that they will be able to look at and say, you know what? We believe that this guy was saying something very sensible, but why people did not listen to him? is because the people were not ready. They were into politics. Many of them don't live in that country. They live out of the country. So they see these things on Facebook like a regular television show. They want to come and watch these things and don't give a damn about what system in place, how functionable it is, what are they doing to improve it. They don't care. Yeah, they do not care. Yes, they don't care. All right. So let me progress here, folks. Let me progress and see how far we can end the video here now.
Something that is so sad this morning. Some folks. And I'm telling you something that is so sad this morning. Some folks. So they took her body to, not her body, because I can tell you that she's dead. They are carrying her to the hospital, but they will find 2 or 3 persons to talk to how this incident happened.
So eventually, the passenger in the car has been rescued. You don't see no emergency, but we often see Sadusa and others taking picture next to an ambulance. But we have a real life situation. The passenger of the car, we don't know whether they are, he or she is dead, but we see the rescue team take the body and carry the body into a 3-legged machine to be taken to the nearest hospital. Do you see any standard that makes sense to anyone? Do you see any standard in that, folks? Do you see any standard in that? Let's think about it, folks. Do you see any standard in that? I mean, we are having a conversation here now, just between you guys and myself now, right? There's no standard in there. There's no standard in there. There's no standard in there. And this person is right. With that, I have known now, no. There's no standard. So this is the risk that many people lives are into in that country and people who travel to that country. That whenever there is some sort of emergency, it could happen to you. You could say, wave goodbye to your family here. You're not the one that are going to control that vehicle. The people that drive the vehicle in that country don't even have any proper standard, whether they are taking written tests, going to the road test, whether they got police on the street that monitor the speed of the car, whether the driver is intoxicated, whether the driver got good vision. You get from that airport, you put your life in the hands of that driver. He carrying you. The car is accelerating at a very high speed. Your body becomes lighter in a car as the car continues to accelerate. You don't know. There are many times that you'll be successful, but at one day, when that thing happens, and the situation you find that you just watch, if it happens to you, what people are going to say? Oh, let's leave it with Jesus Christ. God is not going to come down to save lives. God has given us the human intelligence for us to look at things, identify, and put things in place. But this country called Liberia, we are not ready for the change, my friend. George Weah will be there for 12 years. The opposition will kind of be there for 12 years. The other people come for 12 years. Anyone there for 12 years. Everybody will serve their time for 12 years. If we don't put in place standards, if we don't put in place how we should respond to things, if we don't put society discipline among us, we will not achieve anything. 175 years of our existence after independence, it is a clear proof, it is fact that we are not ready for the change. If that thing had happened in Ghana, I can tell you the video evidence will be different from what it is. Some of you got to do your research. Go on Google right now. Go to YouTube. Type in emergency in Ghana. See how the people are so organized. It is not by magic. It is by proper planning to prevent poor performance. We don't have those things in Liberia. We don't have those things in Liberia. But we continue to be in the way we are today, my brothers and sisters. And we are so into politics. Right now, if I were here causing George Weah man or here causing Alexander Coming man, you see the play will be all of this. That really put us to the bottom of the earth as of the list of countries as an individual. And all I can do is to just come and share my 2 cents. But I can tell you for a fact, if you ever think that God and me will go to Liberia like that, you're wasting your time. Even if I do go visit Liberia, maybe I will walk from the airport to the place I'm supposed to stop and go right back to the airport. But for me to put my hands into some other drivers, unless I know you very well, but I cannot take that risk. But I don't know about you guys. Some of you guys have good friends, your trust. But for me, I'm very, very, very cautious in what I do, especially looking at the country and seeing how emergencies take place and how people respond to it. No, there will be absolutely no investigation. What are that driver? If you want to look at the root cause, why did the driver miss the road? Maybe he got a heart attack, or maybe he was intoxicated, or maybe he lost control. All those things will be followed by why. Let's say, for example, he lost control. Why did he lose control? Well, because he was speeding. Why was he speeding? Because he was trying to get home. Why was he trying to get home? All the why question will get down to the root cause. Maybe the why would be he was drunk, or he fell asleep on the wheel, or he did see that. All those things are supposed to come. Now, when you get the root cause of those things, is when you try to put measure in place. When you see vehicle moving at a very high speed, police should go after that vehicle and slow the vehicle down. The passenger in that car did not intend to get into that water. No, it was not their intention. According to the story, they went to the Rabat International Airport to drop somebody off. And yeah, how they took the person safely, they're supposed to return safely. But I guess the person who they were taking to the airport, maybe they were speeding. Well, maybe Mother Nature or the hands of God prevented that car from plunging into all the other rivers they crossed over. But while they were coming back, maybe they decided to do things the way they never used to do. They never did when they were going. And they came back. And that happened. So that's where we are, folks. That's where we are. That's the control we got. So that wrap things up quickly here, and so that we can call it a day. All right? We can call it a day. And I appreciate you guys being here. And, I appreciate you guys being here. And, just have fun.
So I can tell you watch our
Okay.
Yeah, the men's son were going to America.
The woman
Witness here about 5:30 in the morning.
5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
Okay, let's just
yeah, they were getting break.
Okay.
So suddenly we were under this bridge. We heard a strong sound. Boom.
Strong sound.
Yeah.
Strong
a loud sound. Boom.
Okay.
For in our air.
Okay.
So accidentally we saw the car join the water.
Okay.
So all of us rushed on the road to know what happened. And I saw the man come out, out of the car, started swimming to find way.
The man, which was the driver?
Yeah, which was the driver.
Okay.
And the driver said it came from in the airport.
He came from the airport this morning?
Yeah, this morning. Yeah, the men's son were going to America.
The woman
the
mother?
driver's son.
Oh, the driver's son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were going to Morocco, so he carried the little boy to the airport. So from the airport now, trying to go home back, they were in the car with one of his daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, so the on that one they kind of speed the mirror on. In the car, the mirror on high speed actually.
Very high speed.
Very high speed, my brother. So the car moved on the road side, straight on the side of the bridge. In the water. So I witnessed my own.
Okay, so you say at what time again, sir?
It was 5:30.
5:30 this morning.
This morning they were getting brain now. So now how that thing happened.
How many persons were in the car?
Now only two of them.
Two of them.
The driver in daughter.
The driver and the girl. And the incident happened by 5:30 this morning.
5:30.
And how? So you said you guys were under the bridge, or where were you?
Yeah, we were right under the bridge because I slept under the bridge. Yesterday I went for a party. I laid there. So midnight I decided not to go home to break right here. Yeah. So we were sleeping here. The lecture with my friends there.
Vanessa Cartel, they already took the girl from the water and they took her to the hospital. So the doctor are the only people that are going to pronounce her dead or whether she's still alive or whether she would die.
Yeah, she died. She died. The girl died.
She died?
Yeah, because more than 5 hours the car was under the water and the girl was in the car.
More than 5 hours?
More than 5 hours.
Yeah, but sir, maybe sometimes miracles happen, so you don't know whether the girl might live, so you don't just say she would die. You're not a doctor.
Yeah, they took the body out of the car in the water right in front of us, right here, just now. Yeah, so they carried the body to the hospital.
Okay, sir, you would like to talk to us? Okay. What's your name, sir?
They call me Lijo, but my screen is too far. They soon money for glass. That is the cabin. Oh, pretty. When they see the car flying straight in the water, when the car go in the water, I to go.
Which one you call Chungo?
The Ghana. The Ghana, I'll get the Ghana. I started my dollar in the car, you know. So we get in the water the money, I get another money.
You are the first people that got in the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, the water was dark, so you know, in the night, I guess they're going to really sweet.
Yeah. So you have to wait for the day to clear smoke?
Yeah, I'll wait by the father then. When I'll done on the father, yeah, I get it to with the
Yeah, he can swim?
Yeah, I said to go, you know, yeah.
Where's the Kino? The yellow Kino?
Yeah.
Okay.
The time I go in the water. One or two people go in the water for. It's so sorry for. I want to sorry for what happened. You know.
Yeah.
Accident. I know. Yeah. I happy.
So if you guys were not under the bridge this morning, then time like the car is still under the water?
Yeah, because I under the city.
You guys sleep under the bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
You don't go to our city, so we check out the car. You understand? Yeah, I okay go.
Okay, what's your name again, bro?
I mean Lijo.
Lijo.
Yeah.
But people can call you
Tupa.
Tupa. I mean, you left Tupa, bro.
I don't want the water. This is the water.
What it was, bro? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want.
But at what time the police came this morning? Let me ask this fella. At what time the police came on the scene?
The police arrived on the scene, let me say, because from 5:30, 8 o'clock.
The police came here by 8 o'clock.
By 8 o'clock, they late.
What's about ambulance? Ambulance, were you guys able to contact the ambulance?
Yeah, the police came about some hours ago, or some few minutes ago. We heard the ambulance coming to come rescue the body.
Yes. So the police came here by 8 o'clock to rescue the body. Yeah. But the police
were the first people to arrive before the ambulance came.
The police were the first to arrive here before the ambulance. Okay. So what's about community people that live on that side across Jamaica Road, the bridge? Were they able to come here soon when they heard the sound, like the sound you guys heard this morning when you were under the bridge? Were they able to come?
Actually, the people, some of the community people show concern because the sound was so great. Boom on top of the bridge. So some people around the community started coming out from their houses to witness or to see what happened on the road. So suddenly they saw the car drowning in the water. So now some of them started crying.
Oh, when the car entered into the water, the car didn't just go under.
Yes.
The car was floating, going under the water bit by bit.
Yeah. Because of the high speed the driver was on in the car moved on the road. It moved on the road straight on top of the bridge.
Real excessive speed.
Seriously speed. Straight in the water. So now the community people too. Some of them started coming outside to witness what happened. What they saw now, they saw the car drowning in the water. So now they started calling some guys around for help. But no way to take the car outside because the car went all the way under the water. Beyond that one now, started trying to communicate with police people. That thing. About 2 to 3 hours, the police people arrived.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, folks, that's it. We will call it a day today. We brought.
Yeah, so guys, let me say a big thank you to those of you who stuck around to the end of the show. This is the reality in this country. Yeah, this is the actual reality. Everything that you guys see on Facebook, people coming talking about political party, talking about the government, this is the reality here. This is the reality. And if you think that you are exempt from the reality, well, it's just a matter of time. And but if that situation take place in a developed country, the opportunity of you surviving, it has a greater advantage than if it happened in Liberia. I take great interest in the guy with the Sierra Leone accent because I think their society is so measured in how they think, how they talk. And I think what he said, I tend to agree with him, more than agreeing with the young man over there because he's very calculative in terms of time sensitivities. According to him, around 5:30, when that happens, he made a very clear revelation because normally when the car hit the water, it doesn't really go down into the water because of the buoyancy of the water and the car. So it will take a while as the car absorbs because normally the cars are built with not just opening around it. That's why most of the time when you're driving, you roll the windshield up, you don't get too many airflow into the car. But eventually, water will penetrate and start to open up those little spaces, and then the car will continue to bubble up, most especially when the windshield are wound up. So his description was very accurate, from what he said, that it took a while. Now, the car submerged into the water. The response time, according to him, 5:30. The rescue team did not show up until 8 o'clock. So even somebody was unconscious in the car, they will be dead. Now, there's so many unknown factors. All right. According to him, the father got out of the car. Swim out of the car. He decided to commit suicide anyway with the passenger, his daughter, according to them. Because there are so many things that can happen. He had a heart attack. Well, according to the guy, he came out of the car. So if that is true, the issue of heart attack is out of there. Was he drunk? Well, that would be to be determined because if he's drunk, that means that his senses of coming out of that water could be very, very low in terms of how he gets out. Did he decide to just hit that rim of that road and commit suicide or maybe do something to his daughter? We don't know all these things. But the question here is, all the video that was shown, the question that was asked by the journalist, there was not a time where he said, but where's the driver? And what happened when he talked to you? Where did he go? That other aspect of capturing that information, we will not know. All right. But I'm hoping that in due course that we will get to know. But again, it showed that our country, from the opposition to the current government, to the people, there is nothing organized in our country. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And there's nothing being done to improve it. You listen to the opposition, the worst. All they want is just the executive. They are not engaging the community, educating the people, because political parties should be able to educate their people on the basic things that they deserve to know. Because it's a political institution, your platform that you identify. Okay, what is the emergency response platform that your party have. How do you handle a situation like this situation? What will you be doing when when you begin to answer questions in our faction? You will begin to educate the people, but they are not doing things. Look, I can say this for a fact, right? Liberia will not be a better country until 2065. The generation of people that you see today in our country, we all got to die. And then the younger one that will start from the year 2050, by the time they hit 2065, that then, by that time, they will be around 15 years old. Yes, we go from 2050 to 2060, 10 years. From 2065, it will be 15 years. Those young breed of people will be the one that will make Liberia better. Other than that, we are just in a country with no sense of direction, no sense of control. If you doubt me, watch. More of these will happen and will continue to happen. And the behavior will continue to repeat itself. And that's how we're going to be for the next less spend or expenditure we have. I believe that Liberia will only be a better country starting by 2065. Not anything. You can believe me all you want. I mean, you can doubt me all you want. Some of you guys who are very sensitive measure in your head, you know you can't go to Liberia to live because of what I'm seeing is true. So guys, I will see you guys. I got a lot of stuff to do here. Thank you for the opportunity. The struggle continues. We got a country where we are so politically inclined. We love politics than the reality. But remember, when it happened to you, when you need that justice, when you need that publicity, you will not get it. They will be talking politics when your family will be fighting for justice. That's what happened. When your turn comes, when it happened to you, the majority, how you see we're describing the situation today, few people are only paying attention. But by 2, 3, 4, they will come. When it happened to you, when your family need that publicity, they too, the same people will be focused on politics. Why your family will be crying for justice? Why? Because that's what it is. That is the way of life. Nothing works in that country. Pray to God when you go to that country, you come back, give God a bigger glory that he brought you back safely. There is no system in that place. I can say for a fact that that girl is dead. She's not part of the war anymore. She's dead. If a car submerges into that water for all the hours, her lungs have been filled. Your lungs not supposed to be filled with water. The moment the water fills your lungs, you are dead. Go on YouTube right after the show. How long does it take for you to die when you fall in the water? The moment the water fills your lungs, you're dead. That guy been dead a long time ago. That is a dead case. That 7 guy was right. Your 7, that guy is dead. Long time. Case closed. Let's watch for the evidence. It was too late. It was too late. Remember when that car plunged in that water? If somebody had gone in there to rescue her, the quantity of water in her lungs would have been able to save her life. But she's dead and gone. Until then, guys, you take care. J. Rennie is out. Bye. See you guys tonight. Bye-bye.